Welcome to Beaded Doilies by Shell. In this video we are continuing our gift tag. This is faceted bead art. I will be using about 4 feet of string and continuing to show you how to read your pattern and bead up your piece with the 1 needle stitch. When you have a new string, as I showed before, you can either go through your next side bead or you can go through the top of the row you are working on, and then you want to thread through at least 3 center beads. So we will go through the side bead, then through the first center bead, second center bead, and then the third one, and then we go back the way we came. And then once we get back where we started, we can just trim off the excess. And that secures our string. So now we are ready to begin adding our next row. And as our, didn't cross off the last set. As our string is coming out away from our finished rows, we're going to add the next 2 in this direction. And that will be a green followed by a red. And then we want to go through our side bead and then the top bead, which our string is coming out of. And then to get back to the top, we want to go through the 2 beads we just added. And then as we're coming in towards our completed rows, we also want to go through our side bead. And as we're on the side of our completed rows, we're going to add the next 2 in this direction. And that will be a green followed by a red. And this time we'll go through our top of our row and then the side bead. want to go through our new top bead here. And our string is now coming out from away from our finished rows. We'll add in this order. And they're both red. And we'll go through our side bead and then our top bead. And then returning to the top, we want to go through the 2 beads we just added. And as we're coming in towards our finished rows, we will also go through the next side bead. And as we're coming on the side of our finished rows, we'll add these 2 in this direction. And they will both be green. And this time we will just go through the top bead in towards our finished rows. And as this finishes off this row and we want to start the next one, we want to come down to this second side bead. So what we're going to do is at this point, we're coming out this previous top bead here. We're going to go down the inside side bead away from the beads we just added. Getting a little tangled here. Okay. All right. Then we're going to come out away from our finished rows. And up through the second side bead that we want to be coming out of. And as we're coming towards the end of our pattern, we're going to add those beads in this order. So we need a green, and a red. So we'll add 2 greens and a red. Now the bead that our string is coming out of, we want to go through it again, making sure that our string is coming out on the same side. Then we want to go through all 3 beads again so that we are on the side we want to head towards. And as we're coming in towards our finished rows, we are also going to go through the next side bead. And we've added these, and as we're on this side of our finished rows, we're going to add these beads in this order. And they're both going to be green. We'll go through the top bead of our current row and then the side bead that our string is coming out of. And then we'll go through our new top bead. And as our string is coming away from our finished rows, we're going to add in this direction. And these will also both be green. We'll go through our side bead, then our current top bead, now we want to go through both beads we just added to get ourselves back on top. And as we're coming in towards our finished rows, we want to go through our next side bead. And as we're on the coming from the finished rows, we're going to add these two in this direction. And that means we need a green and a red. We want to go through our top bead, then our current side bead, then we go through our new top bead, and as we're coming away from the finished rows, we will add in this direction. And the rest of this row will be all green. We go through the side bead, our current top bead, and we go through both beads we just added to get back to the top bead. And as we're coming in towards our finished rows, we will also go through the side bead. And we'll add in this direction as we're on the side of our finished rows. And we need two green. Go through our current top bead, and side bead, and then we go through our new top bead. And we don't have any more side beads, so that means we have come to the end of this row. Now as we're coming away from our finish, we're going to add in this order. So we'll add 3 green beads. And we will go through the top bead, making sure that our string is coming out on the same side it's currently coming out on. And now, to position us for the next row, we will just go through the one side bead. And there we are. And as we're coming out the one side bead, we're going to add the first 4 beads in this order. And they are all green. So we'll add 4 green beads. And we'll find the first one and go through it again, same direction as the first time. And we pull it up tight to the others. And we have the first 4 beads of our new row. Added these. Now we've added the first 4 beads. And as we are coming away from our finished rows, we are going to add in this direction. And they are both green. We will go through the side bead that our first 4 beads are attached to. We want this side bead here. And then we want to also go through the bead that our string is coming out of, which is the top bead of our current row. And we pull all that tight. And we go through the 2 beads we just added to get ourselves back to the top of our current row. And as we're coming in towards our finished pieces, we will go through the next side bead. There we have our first bit of this row added. And as we're on the side of our finished rows, we will add the next 2 in this direction. And they are both green. And we'll go through our current top bead and side bead. Then we'll go through our new top bead. As we're coming away from our finished rows, we will add in this direction. And our next set is a red and a green. We'll go through the side bead and top bead. Then we'll go through the 2 beads we just added. And as we're coming in towards our finished rows, we will also go through our next side bead. As we're on the side of our finished rows, we add in this direction. and these two beads will be green. Then we'll go through our current top bead and side bead. Then we'll go through our new top bead. And our string is coming away from our current finished rows, so we add in this direction. And we need a red and a green. And we go through our side bead and our current top bead. Then we go through the two beads we just added. And as we're coming in towards our finished rows, we will go through the next side bead. And as we're on the side of the finished rows, we will add the last two beads in this direction. And they are both green. Go through our top bead. And as this is the last two beads we added, we again want to work our way down and around, so we're coming out through the second side bead. So we'll go down away from the beads we just added. And we'll come out the side of our piece, and we'll go up through that second side bead. And as we're coming towards the end of our row, we will add the next beads in this order. And they are all green. Then you want to go through the bead that your string is coming out of, making sure your string is coming out on the same side. And now we want to get to our top, so we'll go through the three beads we just added. And then we will go through our next side bead. And we are on the side of our finished rows, so we will add in this direction. And we'll add two red, and we want to go through our current top bead, and side bead. Then we want to go through our new top bead, and our string is coming away from our finished rows. So we'll add in this direction. And we need a green and then a red. We'll go through our side bead and our current top bead. Then we'll go through the 2 beads we just added to get back to the top. As we're coming in towards our finished rows, we will also go through our side bead. And as we're on the side of our finished rows, we will add in this direction. We'll need a green and a red. And we'll go through our top bead, our current side bead, and then we'll go out through our new top bead. And we are coming away from our finished rows, so we add in this direction. And the rest of this row will be green. We're going to add 2 greens. We'll go through our side bead, and our top bead. And we'll go through the 2 beads we just added. And up through our side bead. Now we're on the side of our finished rows, so we add this direction, and we want 2 greens, go through our top bead, our current side bead, and then we'll go through our new top bead. And as we're coming away from our finished rows, we're going to add in this direction. And we're at the point where we're all green, so we'll add 3 green beads. And we want to go through the current top bead, making sure our string is coming out on the same side as it's already coming out on. And then to get started, we want to go through our side bead here, just the side bead. As we're coming towards the end of our row, we're going to add these 4 all together in this order. And we're still adding all green, so we need 4 greens. Oh, actually before I do that, let me get our pattern up to. So we're adding these 4 beads right here. This is part of our pattern, these ones. So we'll add, our 4 beads. Then we will go back to the first one we added, going through it in the same direction as the first time. And then we'll pull all that tight. That gives us the first 4 beads of this row, and our string is coming away from our finished rows. So we're going to add the next 2 in this order. We've added these 4, and we're still working with green. So we'll add 2 green. And we will go through our side bead that our 4 beads are connected to, and the top bead. Then we'll go through the 2 we just added to get back to the top of our row. And as we're coming in towards our finished rows, we also go through the side bead. And as we're on the side of our finished rows, we add in this direction. And they will both be green. Go through the top bead, and side bead, then through our new top bead, and we're coming away from our finished rows. And our next 2 are green. Now we want to go through our side bead and our current top bead. And we want to go through the 2 beads we just added. And as we're on the side of our finished rows, we go through the next side bead. And we add the next 2 in this order. And we'll need a red and then a green. Now we'll go through our top bead and side bead. Then we go through our new top bead, and as we're coming away from our finished rows, we add in this direction, and this time we will have 2 red beads. Go through our side bead and our top bead. Then we will go through the 2 we just added. And as we're on the side of our finished rows, we will go through the side bead. Our last 2 we'll add in this order, and then we are going to tie off as the string is very short, and they are both going to be green. Go through our top bead, and now as we're ready to tie off, what we will do is just go down our row and go 3 center beads. So side, This is the first center bead inside and second center bead and another side and third center bead. And we will go back the way we came from, back to the way we came from, going 3 center beads, so that's 1, 2, and 3. And then we clip off the excess. And we will finish up in the next video, starting with a new row and a new string. So we have finished up this row completely. And I look forward to finishing up the gift tag with you. See you then.